Well, it may not come as much of a shock that it's costing a lot more in down payment cash to buy a home in our market. Real estate expert Rick Sadle with Keller Williams Realty and SadleRealEstate.com is with us. Rick, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
So it looks like Zillow's done some work about what it takes to get into what they're calling a typical home, somewhere in the Rose City. So how much do they say things have gone up in the last 4 years if we estimate 2024?
Yeah, so Zillow's always doing reports like this, and I love them because it's always fascinating info. And this one is basically about affordability, right? They studied the median income in our area, then they studied the median home sale price in our area, and they found that in 2020, people in Portland needed to earn about $96,000 to afford the typical home. In 2024, people would need to earn as much as $161,000 to afford the typical home. That's with what they consider to be the typical down payment and current interest rates. Now, that's an increase of $65,000. Now, at the same time, the actual median income only increased about $22,000 based on estimates for this year. And that really speaks to how much interest rates have impacted affordability, right? In those 4 years, rates have more than doubled, which obviously makes monthly payments double as well for the same purchase price. I think just a lot more people are a lot more uncomfortable, or they're going to be more uncomfortable trying to buy a house.
Yeah, and that's pretty simple math, isn't it? It's a 3-to-1 difference when it comes to what it costs versus the more money we're making. So just to be clear on down payments, Rick, that about 10% of what it should cover?
I mean, down payment can really run the gamut. I think Zillow's equations used 10%, which for our median price in our area could be as much as $50,000 or more. 20% is also pretty common, which will obviously make monthly payments more affordable, right? Less of the purchase price would be part of that 6.5% interest rate. But really, there are programs out there for as little as 3%, or even some for 0 down right now.
Okay, you brought up a little bit about this when it comes to salaries, income for Portlanders, and talking about how that relates to buying a house. Could you give us a little more on that?
Yeah, I mean, currently the median income for this year for Portlanders is projected to be about $96,000. And when it comes to affording a mortgage with that $96,000, it really depends on how much other consumer debt you have, right? Bank guidelines say that people can earn as much as, or excuse me, spend as much as 50% almost of their gross income on mortgage payments. But it really depends on your credit score and how much you're putting down and how much you're paying towards those credit cards and car payments and things like that.
Got it. Okay, Portland, Salem, Southwest Washington, bottom line it for us when it comes to cash down payments.
Well, I mean, let's just put it this way. The more money you save for a down payment, the better off you'll be. But I have to qualify that statement. You don't want to wait to buy a home if you can afford to put a little less down right now and still afford the mortgage payments, because later this year, whatever it is, when the Fed lowers the interest rates, mortgage rates are going to follow. And then all that pent-up demand that we've had for the past 2.5 years that people haven't wanted to buy at 7% interest rates or 8% interest rates, they're gonna come out of the closet, and it's going to drive up demand, which is going to drive up prices again. So I would say if you can afford it and you only have a certain amount of money to put down, I would buy now still versus waiting.
Okay, great perspective. As always, Rick, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks.
That is Rick Sadle, real estate expert with Keller Williams Realty and SadleRealEstate.com.